So
can we get to 1844? This is the heart of your prophecy. This is why I came to
Joel,
discuss.
you
Okay.
got to drive. You got to drive the discourse with judgment, with John and these sort of other areas. So Sam has mentioned 1844 a number of times. So maybe you can help, because again, the belief does include 1844, and they're essentially saying that there's biblical warrant or support for it. So maybe you can point
Yes.
him to where
Yeah.
the belief. Why is the belief citing 1844?
okay, 1840. So before Adventists understood that Daniel 8 verse 14 refers to 1844, they already understood that the judgment was past the year 1798, based upon the reformational understanding of Daniel chapter 7. Josiah Litch was the first one who came up with the concept of the investigative judgment. He said it needs to happen after 1798 in 1842. Why? Because he said a judgment is being mentioned after the reign of the little horn. Now,
Man, I was
at
checking you. Joel,
Christianity,
honestly, I'm having a hard time hearing you. Honestly,
okay,
I'm not trying to
okay,
cut you. Just having a hard
okay,
time. Fine,
okay,
that's
okay.
why
Let
I
me
keep on this.
okay,
What do you
let me
say?
try it again. I said, so initially Adventists came up not with the investigative judgment in 1844. It was
Okay.
already understood in 1842. Josiah Litch understood, based upon Daniel chapter 7, that after the reign of the little horn, a judgment is being mentioned. So the
After the
predominantly the yes.
you
So
follow. Well, let
because
me
we find
follow.
that sequence, we see that
Yeah,
sequence.
but I'm trying to follow. If you go too fast, then you're not talking to me.
Okay,
You're talking
okay,
to someone else.
okay, okay.
Little horn. Okay, I'm trying to figure out. So
Yeah.
Daniel 7. After the little horn, what again?
After the little horn was reigning for 1260, it speaks about the period of 1260s,
Okay.
right?
Mhm.
And it's also explained in the latter part of Daniel 7. It says, and after this the judgment. So Josiah Litch said after 1798 there should be a judgment, and that was
1790.
based upon Protestant understanding of the little horn.
1798.
Yeah.
So he assigned 1798 from Daniel 7.
Yes.
Where
It
did you get
says,
that from Daniel 7?
because again Protestant understanding of prophecy was predominantly that the little horn refers to papacy and that it ended in 1798 98.
1790. So
Yes,
Protestants said it's the papacy. And what happened to the papacy in 1798?
it was the general took the Pope captive.
The what?
The general of Napoleon took the Pope captive.
Oh, yeah. And that's why the Pope is still strong and the church, the Catholic Church is spreading. So since
It
that
was
was a failed understanding, how does that justify 1798?
it understood it was so that situation was understood as the fulfillment of the ending of the reign of the little horn, and after
It
that,
hasn't stopped raining. So I'm still waiting.
okay, after that it speaks about a judgment coming up. So I just want I'm
Okay. So
just
how did you get
explaining
1844?
why we are getting to 1844. So
Yeah, get
already back then, without looking to Daniel 8 verse 14, Adventists, Millerites,
Daniel
and
8 what?
Josiah Litch. Josiah Litch was a scholar. He understood it. Wait a second. We have here a trial. By the way, he already said the trial is done by God the Father. Christ will execute it post Calvary and somewhere around the period of the 1800 in the 18th century.
So
So
where in Daniel? I'm still waiting, brother. You're preaching.
Yeah, let's
I'm
go to
waiting
Daniel. Where are you pointing
for
to in
Daniel
Scripture
where
for
you
this, Joel? We're
got
supposed to be discussing Scripture.
1844. Can you give me the verses? Because Daniel 7 doesn't assign it 1798. You're appealing to some Protestants who say, oh, see, the Pope, Napoleon took the Pope captive. See, that's now the end. Well, that's okay. So what? He said that. What's the proof? Give me exegesis. Open up Daniel 7, Daniel 8. Let's go. Show me.
oh, Daniel 7, you know yourself. Daniel 7 goes together with Daniel 2. Those
Daniel 2, sure want
metals.
to go to Daniel 2?
Daniel chapter 2 with the statue with the different metals. They agree with Daniel chapter 7 in terms of the four beasts. And then we have Rome being mentioned, and that Rome, out of Rome came a little horn. So we have
Brother,
here
are you going to
at
give me the
least
actual
something
way to get
post
1844 from
Calvary.
Miles? Because this guy's preaching. Because Daniel 2 doesn't help his case.
Well,
Miles, I
let's
don't
go and look at
So
let's go
so
and look
if
at Daniel, because here, hold on, fellas.
up
Hold on,
Daniel.
fellas. Hold on, fellas. Okay. All right. I'm going to start stepping in a little bit more because we want to have a productive and fruitful conversation. I know we get passionate. I know, but there's a lot of stuff being thrown out when we should just go to these verses. So all of the things that Joel is saying right now, and I think he would agree with this, are necessary for all of this to be true, not just 1844. So let's go to Daniel 7 or Daniel 2, if that's what we want to do. And let's see where the text, what is the text teaching? Is it supporting what Joel is saying, or is it supporting something else that Sam is going to say?
Bring up Mike. Can you bring up? Well, I don't know what you bring. Okay, Daniel 2. This is not going to help your case because it says the Messianic kingdom will be established in the reign of those kingdoms. Now, somehow you're taking it to mean the Roman Catholic Church, when in the context it's talking about the empires such as Babylon, Medes, Persia, Greece, and Rome. You now take Rome to mean the Roman Catholic Church, when its historical context is talking about the empires, the superpowers. And so if you go to Daniel 2, 34, 35, because even Muslims misuse this, sadly.
But all these empires, they are sequentially. When it is destroyed, when the
you
statue is
continue
destroyed,
looking until a stone was cut out with hands, and it struck the image on its feet of iron and clay and crushed them. Then the iron, the clay, the bronze, the silver, and the gold were crushed all at the same time and became like chaff from the summer threshing floors. And the wind carried them away, so that not a trace of them was found. But the stone that struck the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. If I read this contextually, it's talking about during those four empires. During the fourth one, the other three still will not have been completely wiped out. And historically, do you want to manifest again? I mean, I can read it for you.
I said, I agree.
Okay. So it says it starts out as a stone, but then it will end up become a great mountain, meaning this stone without hands will slowly engulf the earth. That's why it starts as a stone and it becomes a great mountain that eventually fills the earth. This goes back to the point I made earlier.
When did this happen?
Okay, well, brother, if I have to break this down, there's no discussion because you're wasting time. But the stone that struck the image became a great mountain and filled the whole earth. Okay, so do you want me to repeat it again? But the stone, which is not a mountain, that struck the image, became a great mountain, meaning it starts as a stone during these empires, and slowly it becomes a great mountain that eventually fills the earth. That's exactly the point I was making earlier when Jesus said he's already begun the judgment, begun the resurrection, and will culminate when he returns.
So Joel, what was your question to Sam?
Yes. My question was, when did this was fulfilled?
When Christ came.
Okay, that's when you say. And okay, I will disagree based upon Daniel 7, where we have think about also this. Daniel chapter 9. Maybe I'm now jumping to Daniel chapter 9 and Daniel chapter 11. We see here that this entity, based upon Daniel 11 verse 22, Daniel 11 verse 22, the entity which will stood up against Christ, is the Roman army, is the Roman power.
Daniel 11, no.
11
Daniel
verse
11 is not about Rome. It's about Antiochus. That prefigure.
No, 11:20 it speaks about the Tsar.
Daniel 11 is about Antiochus, who prefigures the Antichrist. Yes, because in Daniel 11, you can say all you want, dude. I'm going to show it to you from Daniel 8 and 11. Take it easy.
Go ahead.
Yes, because the same Daniel 11, 36 to 37, that same figure is the same one of Daniel 8, which is your proof text that you've been running from, which I've been waiting for you to bring up, that little horn. It's the same figure. And historically, that's Antiochus. And I'm going to demonstrate that here. Then the king will do as he pleases, Daniel 11, 36, 37. He will exalt and magnify himself above every god, and will speak astonishing things against the God of gods. He will succeed until indignation is finished. For that which is decreed will be done. He will show no regard for the gods of his fathers, or for the desire of women, nor will he show regard for any other god, for he will magnify himself above them all. Then we go to Daniel 8. Then it grew up the host to the host of heaven, caused some of the host and some of the stars to fall to the earth, and it trampled them down, and even magnified itself to be equal with the commander of the host. And it removed the regular sacrifice from him, and the place of his sanctuary was thrown down. I said, I've been waiting for you to go here, but for some reason you've been hesitant. And on account of transgression, the host will be given over to the horn, along with the regular sacrifice. It will throw truth down to the ground and do its will and succeed. Then I heard a holy one speaking. Another holy one said to that particular one who was speaking, how long will the vision about the regular sacrifice apply, while the transgression causes desolation, so as to allow both the holy place and those to be trampled? And he said to me, for 2,300 evenings and mornings, very significant, then a holy place will be made righteous. So this one will oppose the commander of the host. And who is he? Daniel 8, 25, 26. And through his insight, he will cause the seed to succeed by his hand. He will magnify himself in his heart. He will destroy many while they are at ease. He will stand against the prince of princes, Sarim, but he'll be broken without hands. And what had appeared about the evenings and the mornings, which has been told, is true. But as for you, conceal the vision, for it pertains to many days in the future. So this is talking about Antiochus. So I'm waiting for you to refute me, especially this is the proof text that you guys use, this one here, which you have yet to go to.
So
that's where you get the 1844. So why aren't you using this? Because Daniel 9 is not your proof text.
You know, let me make it clear. Before I go to this issue, as I said already, for me, the most important thing is the concept. So the timing is not for me the first and foremost thing. I think that quite some Adventists, they have shown why Antiochus Epiphanes could not be. There are some good reasons why he could not be the fulfillment of prophecy. So this could be going back and forth like yes or no. So for me, that's why I just wanted to stick without going into these things which could be decisive. I want to go to a clear concept of the investigative judgment without necessarily looking at the time. And we could also look at the sanctuary service connected with it. But so going back to now Daniel chapter 9 and chapter 8, 9, and 10, I think that we still, one of the main reasons why I say this should be eschatological, it needs such a fulfillment, because in Daniel chapter 8, it speaks again about it shall be unto many days, and it speaks even about the destroying of the little horn power. All those prophecies reach unto the end. Daniel chapter 2, Daniel chapter 9, Daniel chapter 7, Daniel chapter 8. So I want to be very,
no, it doesn't. Daniel 8.
Matter of fact, Daniel 8 starts with the Medes and the Persians. The Ghazon, right? And that covers not only the Medes and the Persians, but even the Greeks and the Romans. So for me, already that indicates that 6 years or 7 years is not enough if we have to understand literal.
Friend, no. The little horn is talking about Antiochus in its immediate historical context, and he did come about later, long after Medes Persia, long after Alexander, when his empire was split into four because of his four generals, and from their midst came Antiochus. This is why I said this is the text you guys butcher to say 2,300 evenings and mornings means 2,300 years. And then you tie it in with Daniel 9, butcher that. So I'm waiting for the evidence, but you don't want to give it to me. So now, if you don't want to go there, that's one thing. Because he brought up 1844. I didn't tell Miles to quote 1844.
No, wait a second. I did it even in the title. 1844 is not mentioned. It speaks about the investigative judgment.
1844 from Daniel 8.
So again, without going, I don't even need to speak about 1844. When I just stay even in the New Testament, you see eschatological judgment, Christ executing the judgment, and we can go, for example, to Second Thessalonians chapter 1.
Miles, I'm a little confused. I don't mean I'm not trying to hear him. Miles, why did you bring up 1844, brother? Why did you distract us with 1844? He's not here to defend 1844. So why did you quote it?
No, wait.
Hold on.